I walked into my bedroom holding $60,000 worth of car keys. 3 hours later, I was standing over my best friend with my hands around his throat, asking myself if I was really about to become a murderer. But I'm getting ahead of myself. December 4th started normal. My wife Sienna kissed me goodbye at 7:30. Our daughter Leor was singing some cartoon song in the back seat. I remember thinking how lucky I was. Good family, good business, good life. I had no idea that in 5 hours, everything I believed about my life was a lie. See, I'd been planning this surprise for 4 months. My father died 3 years back and left me his watch collection. 12 vintage pieces he spent his whole life collecting. I sold every single one, got $60,000. Enough to buy Sienna the Mercedes she'd been dreaming about for 2 years. My best friend Oren helped me set it all up. We'd been brothers since we were 12 years old. He was my best man at the wedding, godfather to my daughter, the guy I trusted with literally everything. That morning he texted me, "Brother, today's the day. Sienna's gonna lose her mind when she sees that car." I believed him. I left work early, picked up the Mercedes at 11, put this giant, stupid red bow on it, drove home grinning like an idiot. That's when I saw his car in my driveway. Oren's black Audi parked right where my wife usually parks, and Sienna's car was down the street, half hidden behind the neighbor's hedge. My stomach dropped, but I told myself it was nothing. Maybe he stopped by to grab something. Maybe Sienna came home sick. I unlocked the front door. The house was quiet, too quiet. I called out, "Sienna? Oren?" Nothing. Then I heard something upstairs. Movement. Voices. I climbed those stairs and I swear to God, each step felt like walking toward the edge of a cliff. I pushed open my bedroom door, and what I saw in those next 3 seconds destroyed 22 years of friendship and 7 years of marriage. But that wasn't even the worst part, because 3 hours later I discovered that what I walked in on wasn't just an affair. It was the final stage of a plan that started 18 months ago. A plan that already killed one person, and I was supposed to be next. Before we continue with what happened next, hit that subscribe button right now and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what makes your place unique. I want to know, are you in your car, your bedroom, hiding in the bathroom at work? Let me know. Now back to the story, because what I found in that bedroom was just the beginning. 4 months before everything fell apart, I sat in Harrison's auction house holding my father's watch collection. 12 pieces, 40 years of collecting. The old man behind the desk looked at me like I was crazy. "Mr. Corvallis, these watches are your inheritance. Your father spent his whole life building this collection." I knew that. Every Sunday morning, Dad would pull out a different watch and teach me about it. The history, the craftsmanship, how things that last are built slowly with patience and care. But my father was dead, and my wife was alive, and driving a car that broke down twice last winter. "I need the money," I told Harrison. "My wife deserves something good." He counted out the pieces one by one, started making calls to collectors. By the end of the week, he had buyers for all of them. $60,347. The Patek Philippe alone went for $28,000. Harrison handed me the check and said something I didn't understand then. "Maybe your wife would rather have your time than your money." I laughed. Told him I was giving her both. With this money, I could cut back on the extra weekend work, be home more, have the car and the time. He just nodded, but his eyes looked sad. That's when I called Oren, my best friend since 7th grade, the guy who stood next to me at my wedding, who held my daughter the day she was born, who knew everything about me. "Brother, I need help finding a car." Oren got excited immediately. He worked in banking, so he knew people at all the dealerships. Within 2 days, he found it. Mercedes AMG GT, midnight blue, cream leather interior. The exact one Sienna showed me pictures of for the past 2 years. "This is perfect," Oren said when we went to look at it. "Sienna's gonna cry when she sees this. You're the best husband ever, brother." We negotiated the price down. Oren handled all the paperwork stuff I didn't understand, set up the payment schedule, coordinated with the dealer. "Let's surprise her on December 4th, he said. "I'll make sure I'm around in case you need help with anything." December 4th was yesterday. I kissed Sienna goodbye at 7:30 in the morning. She was taking Leor to kindergarten, then heading to her job at the art gallery. She looked beautiful, happy, normal. I waited until 9, then called my boss. Made up some lie about an emergency client meeting. He believed me because I never took time off. At 11, I drove to the dealership. Signed the final papers. Got the keys. The salesman tied this massive red bow on the hood, and I felt stupid and excited at the same time. I drove through downtown Portland with the windows down, even though it was cold, imagining Sienna's face when she came home, how she'd scream, how Lior would jump up and down, how perfect everything would be. I got home at 12:45, 2 hours before Lior got out of school, 3 hours before Sienna usually came home from work. Perfect timing to set everything up, take pictures, maybe even hide in the house and film her reaction. I pulled into the driveway. The bow looked amazing in the winter sunlight. Then I saw Oren's car. His black Audi was in the driveway, right in Sienna's usual spot. My brain tried to make sense of it. Maybe he stopped by to drop something off. Maybe he wanted to see the car before Sienna did. But then I looked down the street. Sienna's silver Honda, the one I bought this Mercedes to replace. It was parked half a block away, tucked behind the neighbor's hedge like she was hiding it. My hands started shaking on the steering wheel. She was supposed to be at work. He was supposed to be at the bank. I got out of the Mercedes. The bow suddenly looked stupid, childish. I walked toward my front door, and with each step, my heart beat faster. Something was wrong. Something was very, very wrong. And I was about to find out exactly how wrong my perfect life really was. The front door was unlocked. That should have been my second warning, but I was still trying to make sense of the cars. Still telling myself there was a normal explanation. I pushed the door open. Sienna? Oren? Silence. Not the empty kind when nobody's home. The thick kind. The kind that presses against your ears. I stepped inside and saw Sienna's purse on the little table by the door. Her phone right next to it. She never went anywhere without that phone. Not even to the bathroom. And beside her phone, Oren's keys. My stomach twisted. Anyone home? Nothing. Then I heard it. Upstairs. Movement. A sound I couldn't quite identify. I moved to the stairs. My construction boots felt heavy, each step creaking under my weight. Maybe she's sick. Maybe Oren came to check on her. Maybe there's a reason. Second floor hallway. Our bedroom door half open. I could hear breathing now. 2 people. Maybe talking. Maybe not. I reached for the door handle. My hand was shaking. I pushed it open. Sienna was in our bed, naked. Sheet pulled up, but not fast enough. Oren was standing next to the bed pulling his pants on. For maybe 3 seconds, my brain couldn't process what I was seeing. It was like watching a movie, like this was happening to someone else. Our wedding photo on the dresser, 5-year-old frame, both of us smiling, Liar's drawing taped to the mirror, stick figures, mommy, daddy, Uncle Oren, big son, hearts everywhere. The sheets we bought together at Target last year, gray with white stripes, on sale. Then time started again. Sienna screamed, "Dante! Oh my God, Dante, please!" I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My whole body just stopped working. Oren finished buttoning his pants. And the weird thing, the thing that made my skin crawl, he wasn't panicking. He looked calm, almost like he expected this. "Brother, I know how this looks." My voice came out wrong. Too low, too quiet. "Get out of my house." Sienna was sobbing now, pulling the sheet tighter. "Let me explain. It's not what you—" "Not what?" The shout surprised me. "Not you in our bed with him? Not my best friend? Not the guy who's my daughter's godfather?" Oren stepped toward me, hands up like I was a dog that might bite. "Before you do something stupid, you need to ask yourself why I'm here." I wanted to hit him. My fist was already clenched. 22 years of friendship, and I wanted to break his face. "Ask your wife about the text, Dante." I blinked. "What?" "Ask her about the photos. Ask her what she knows about Mira." Mira, my assistant, the woman who handled my schedule and answered my emails. What does Mira have to do with anything? Oren smiled, not a friendly smile. Something cold. Something that made my blood freeze. "Everything, but you already knew that, didn't you?" I looked at Sienna. She was staring at me like I was a stranger. "I saw them, Dante." Her voice was barely a whisper. I saw the messages, the hotel pictures. You and her. My world tilted sideways. What messages? Sienna, what are you talking about? Don't lie to me. She was crying harder now. Oren showed me, months ago. You've been sleeping with her this whole time. I felt like I was drowning, like the air in the room was gone. Sienna, I swear I never touched Mira. She's my employee, that's it. Oren was putting his shirt on now, taking his time, like this was all very boring. Show him the photos, Sienna. Show him what a liar he is. Get out. I said it again, louder this time. Get out before I do something we both regret. Oren grabbed his jacket, walked past me, so close I could smell his cologne. The cologne I bought him for his birthday. He stopped at the bedroom door, turned back. We'll talk later, brother, when you're ready to be honest about what you've been doing. Then he was gone, down the stairs, out the front door, his Audi starting up, driving away. I stood there in my bedroom holding car keys in my hand. $60,000 worth of surprise. $60,000 worth of stupid. Sienna wouldn't look at me, just kept crying into the sheet, and I realized something that made my legs weak. My best friend didn't just sleep with my wife. He convinced her I cheated first. He planned this, and I had no idea what else he'd planned, but I was about to find out. We sat in the living room like strangers. Sienna on the couch, me in the chair by the window, 5 feet between us. Might as well have been 5 miles. Show me, I said. Show me these texts you're talking about. Her hands shook as she pulled out her phone, scrolled through screenshots, handed it to me without looking at my face. The first message said, "Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you." Sent from my number, my contact photo, my name. Next one. "When's your husband traveling again? I need to see you." Another. "The hotel room is booked. Room 847. Can't wait." I stared at the screen, my brain trying to make sense of it. "I never sent these." Sienna laughed, but it wasn't a real laugh. "They're from your phone, Dante, your number, your contact. I'm telling you, I never wrote these words. I never." "Then explain the photos." She swiped to the next screen. Pictures of me and Mira, outside restaurants, in hotel lobbies, one where we're sitting close at a table. I recognized every single moment. Business lunch in September, conference in Seattle in July, client meeting in Eugene in October. But the angles were wrong. The way they were cropped. They looked like something they weren't. "These are real moments," I said, "but not what you think. That restaurant photo, that was the Peterson account meeting. Mira took notes. That hotel. I was at a cybersecurity conference. She wasn't even there. The timestamp says she was." I looked closer. The dates matched. Times I was traveling for work. "Oren showed you these?" Sienna nodded. 4 months ago, we were having coffee. He was showing me photos from his vacation, and then he stopped. Got this look on his face. Tried to hide his phone, but I saw it. I asked him what it was. Her voice got quieter. He didn't want to tell me. Said it wasn't his place, but I pushed. And finally he showed me. One photo. You and Mira outside that Seattle hotel. He said he'd seen it by accident. Said he tried talking to you about it, but you denied everything. My stomach dropped. Then every few weeks he'd show me another one. Said he was trying to gather proof before telling me. Said I deserved to know the truth, but I needed evidence first. I opened my laptop, pulled up the messages she'd shown me. My job is cybersecurity. I build systems to catch hackers, find digital fingerprints, track fake accounts. I looked at the metadata on those texts, and there it was. Tiny. Easy to miss if you weren't looking. These didn't come from my phone. Dante? Someone spoofed my number, faked these messages. Look at the routing data. I showed her the screen. She didn't understand what she was looking at. Who would do that? Someone who had access to my devices, my accounts. Someone who knew my schedule, who I trusted with everything. I started tracing the IP addresses, following the digital trail backwards. Every fake message, every doctored photo, every piece of evidence. All of it came from the same network. My hands went cold. These all came from Oren's home IP address. Sienna stood up. That's not possible. He's the one who showed them to me. Why would he? Because he made them. He created fake evidence, then pretended to discover it. Made you think he was protecting you. I pulled up my business accounts, something I should have checked months ago. Cryptocurrency transfers I never authorized. 40,000 here, 60,000 there. My digital signature on every transaction. Except I never made them. $340,000. Gone. Over 18 months. Oren had signing authority on my accounts. I'd given it to him 3 years ago when I was expanding the company. Your family brother, I trust you completely. I looked at the dates. The embezzlement started 18 months ago. How long did you say this affair's been going on? Sienna's face went white. 13 months. 18 months of stealing my money. 13 months sleeping with my wife. He didn't do this because he fell in love. He didn't do it because he was weak. He planned it. Every step. My phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Mr. Corvallis, this is Detective Reza Nakamoto, Portland PD. I knew that name. We'd met 6 months ago, at Yasmin's funeral. Oren's wife, the elementary school teacher who everyone loved, who made cookies for every bake sale, who volunteered at the animal shelter. She'd killed herself. Pills. They found her in bed. Oren came home from a business trip and found her. I remembered holding him while he cried. I should have seen the signs. I should have saved her. I remember you, detective, from the funeral. I need you to come to the station. Right now. His voice sounded wrong. Urgent. Is this about Oren? Because I was about to call you. It's about Yasmin Castellane's death. My mouth went dry. I thought that case was closed. It was, until I went back through her medical records today. Some things didn't add up. Mr. Corvallis, I don't think Yasmin killed herself. The room started spinning, and I think you might know why. Detective Nakamoto's office smelled like old coffee and paper. He looked tired. Gray hair, lines around his eyes, like he hadn't slept in days. Yasmin's death never sat right with me, he said. Pulled out a thick file. No suicide note. And the pills. The combination was weird. Not something someone would take if they knew what they were doing. He showed me photos. Yasmin in bed. Peaceful looking, like she was sleeping. Oren told us she'd been depressed for months. We believed him. He was the grieving husband. Why would we doubt him? I looked at the